Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be going over the 5 standouts from the Washington Commanders' first 4 days of training camp, and I'll be showing you guys some clips from those players as well. If you guys are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, and the notification bell. All those 3 things are free and they take 3 seconds. So the Washington Commanders are done with their first week of training camp. They had 4 days, all very hot and humid days, but pretty successful, a lot of fan turnout, and there were definitely a ton of standouts. So let's talk about those today. I think the biggest standout overall was third-year receiver now, Diami Brown out of UNC. He had a few big plays, including probably the play of training camp so far, which was that big catch, over Tariq Castro Fields. That was a really nice play by Diami Brown, and Jacoby Brissett had a pretty nice throw. And yeah, I mean, it's not just that though. There's been a ton of tweets. Oh, Diami Brown just had a touchdown. Diami Brown just had a nice catch. We're hearing a lot more about Diami Brown than we were in the past, and I still would like to hear a little bit more of and they probably don't tweet this. So Diami Brown just got a nice 8-9 yard catch. We'll see more in the preseason and the regular season, because we've seen big plays from Diami Brown. Like last year, we saw 2 huge plays from him. One 75-yard catch and one 40-yard one-handed catch. But we didn't see a lot of those short yardage situation catches where that's where he's going to be, used this year. I mean, he's definitely going to be used as a deep threat. It's, definitely more now in Bieniemy's offense, where they'll, throw some more vertical, they'll have a little bit more vertical passes. And also Sam Howell, I think more importantly, Sam Howell has a, better arm than, Heineke, and more accurate than Wentz. So I think he'll be able to get it down the field more for sure. But we need to see more slants and crossing routes with Diami, or we need to see him do that, because that's going to be, that's a big part of Eric Bieniemy's offense. But let's go ahead and show a clip, and shout out to Rio for this clip. We'll go ahead and show it right here. But it was just a huge play, and it was borderline a Moss. So about to snap it right here, and I'm sure that he made a bunch of other bigger plays. You see that right there, launches it, and Diami Brown just makes the catch over Tariq Castro Fields. So a big play. I mean, I guess I can try to full screen it, but it might be a little bit cut off for you guys. But again, just a really good play by Diami here. And he's made these types of plays before. Usually though, he beats the guy. This time he just caught it. He just went over the guy and caught it. So hopefully we see more of this from Diami. But so far, first week, really good for Diami, and hope it continues, and hopefully he can be a solid number 4 receiver for them. And if someone gets hurt, hopefully that doesn't happen, knock on wood, but he'll be able to step in there and be very efficient. And if that happens, well, maybe you don't have to go out and pay Curtis Samuel after this year, and Diami Brown can be your third receiver. So I'm excited to see what he can do. And obviously he has the connection with Sam Howell. He's been doing well with him, and that's going to translate as well. Other guy that's been doing well is Emmanuel Forbes, and sure, he has gotten beat, but that is 100% expected when he's going up against someone like Terry McLaurin every single time, or Jahan Dotson as well. So he had a pick 6 in yesterday's practice. Well, I'm recording this on the day he did it, but you guys are going to see it the next day. So he had a pick 6 on day 4 of training camp. Also had a nice PBU. I think it was against Jahan Dotson, and some other good plays. You'll be able to see it here. And yes, I know every single time I talk about Emmanuel Forbes, people are like, you didn't like the pick when it happened. That is right, but that doesn't mean I can't root for the guy. Not a good pass right there at all by Sam Howell, but Emmanuel Forbes makes the play and would have had a pick 6 if it was an actual game. So he's been doing pretty well. He's been getting to the ball. I think today he also, he had a PBU on Jahan. I think it was against Jahan, and it would have been, or he should have picked it, but he dropped it, I believe. I think that's what it was. And he's had a bunch of different plays like PBUs and stuff like that, and just good coverage overall. So really good start for Emmanuel Forbes. Let's hope it continues. This kind of feels like a Jahan Dotson type offseason from last year, where we're getting a lot of hype from him. So hopefully it continues, but he's done a really good job so far in camp. Next guy is Brian Robinson. I don't have a clip for this one. Maybe I'll get it later. But one thing that's really we've been hearing a lot about is his hands, and he's been getting a bunch of touchdowns. Like every single day, it seems I hear, oh, Brian Robinson just got a touchdown. Today I heard it. And then, the last few days he had like a really nice catch in the end zone, and he's been catching, a ton of passes, which is a little bit surprising because you'd think Gibson would be doing that a little bit more. And I really haven't heard much from Gibson, so I know he did get a touchdown today, but I would like to see Gibson more involved than Robinson in the pass game. But hey, EB knows what he wants to do, so we'll see what he does. But Brian Robinson has definitely been a stud, and no one forgets what happened to him, but it's just, you got to realize what happened, and that he was never truly himself last year. Maybe the last few weeks of the season he started to get there, but with a full off season and fully healthy this year, I think if he plays 17 games, easily going over 1,000 yards, I think he'll have a very, very good season. So the fourth guy on this list is Chase Young, and it seems like every single day I see a tweet of, oh, Chase Young just absolutely obliterated Charles Leno and would have gotten a sack. And yes, I know there was probably a bunch of good clips from Charles Leno, but no one's going to post that. I don't think anyone did post that. So we're talking about Chase Young here, but he would have had a lot of sacks if they actually were able to get them. But again, can't touch the quarterback in camp or in these joint practices and stuff. We see Chase Young right here on the right side. I'll do a full screen after this one. He beats Leno inside and is able to get to Sam Howell and affect the throw a little bit. I'll show it one more time. And let's see. About to go. And there it is. Again, beats him inside. And he's been looking good from all accounts. Looks explosive. And again, we've heard this before. Like even before 2021, we heard he was having a good camp. And even in the preseason game, the first play, he just absolutely obliterated Isaiah Wynn, the Patriots left tackle, and forced a fumble, but then had a little bit of a dud of a season. So it's just kind of wait and see with Chase Young, but I'm expecting a big year from him. 10 plus sacks is what I think he needs to do. I don't know if he's going to do it, but that's kind of what I'm thinking there for Chase Young. Absolutely make or break year for him. If he has a good year, he'll get paid. If not, he'll still get paid. Probably not by this team, and definitely not as much. If he has a big year, he's going to get paid 20 plus mil a year minimum. So he's had a good camp, and that's huge for the Commanders. He's the X factor because most of the players are the same from last year on the D line. But if he comes back and balls out, him and Pedro Mathis, that could add an extra level. And then, of course, Emmanuel Forbes is another new guy as well. If he can, add those turnovers that the defense was missing last year, this defense could be top 3. I really think maybe even better than that. Maybe number 2 behind the 49ers. I might be getting ahead of myself, but this defense has a lot of talent. And Chase Young is on the top of that list in terms of talent. Comes to production, it's a little bit different, but in terms of talent, he's up there, so that's a good clip from him. Another guy, this one was debatable for me. I didn't know if I should put Sam. I'm going to put Sam Howell in here just to be positive. This past day 4, was not good, but for the most part, the first few days, we heard some really good things about Sam Howell, how efficient he was, a decent amount of touchdowns, and I think today was the first day he threw an interception. He threw 2 of them, I believe one to Percy Butler and one to Emmanuel Forbes, but he's had a bunch of nice passes to Diami Brown, Jahan Dotson, and this one a nice dime to Terry McLaurin. I believe that was on the sideline in the end zone. So that was just a nice pass right there, and Terry able to corral it and gets the tutty. And hey, you got to do what you got to do, and that's just an amazing pass, and that was getting a lot of views yesterday by people and a lot of hype from media and fans. Especially fans were really hyped after that. And then they saw the clip today of Forbes, picking him off, and they got a little bit discouraged. But I think, for the most part, Howell's looked really good, and he had a bad day. That's fine, but he just got to bounce back. He did have an interception yesterday. Not yesterday, but on day 3. So he's had 3 interceptions, way more touchdowns than that. And it's just how you bounce back. So he had a little bit of a rough day today. He's going to have a day off, Sunday, which is today. Let's see how he reacts. Let's see how he looks the next day. And if he looks good, that's great. If not, if he has a couple bad days or a few days, bad days in a row, that's when it gets a little bit concerning. And then, he's going to get used to the defense, and then eventually he's going to have some good days. The joint practices is the biggest indicator of his success this year, in my opinion, is the joint practices. How good he looks in those. If he looks really good, then that's a really good sign, because that's a different defense, and that'll be a good indicator for the Commanders' defense as well. Going up against Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, Odell Beckham Jr., Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, guys like that. Like, that's a good test, especially for Sam Howell, though, because that defense is good. They got some good guys there. But it'll be a good test for both sides of the ball, and I just don't know why we didn't do this in the past. It just had to be done. I'm happy, though, we're doing it this year. I think it'll help out a ton. Some other honorable mentions: Logan Thomas is a good camp. Been a big target for Howell. I think he'll have a solid season. Then you got Cam Curl. That's the guy who had a pick off of Howell yesterday. He's had a good camp like usual. Besides that, like, Jahan has had a solid camp. Terry, as usual, has had a good camp. The D-line, I'm sure, has had a good camp. Cody Barton got a pick. So those are kind of some honorable mentions there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Maybe one other guy, a little bit of a sleeper, Kesmir Allen, has made some plays. He's made some plays for sure. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.